driving innovation through structured management systems. Innovation flourishes when creativity is paired with structure. Rather than being opposing forces, creativity and discipline can coexist to fuel breakthrough results. The purpose of this course is to help you understand how structured innovation management systems make this possible. These systems provide a disciplined approach to capturing, nurturing, and scaling ideas across an organization. They allow innovators to test and validate concepts efficiently, reducing waste and improving outcomes. This course will walk through the key elements of structured innovation, from leadership and culture to tools and metrics, so you can begin applying these insights in your role. As someone with a background in science or engineering, you already know the value of systems thinking and precision. Here, we apply that mindset to innovation. Our goal is to show that innovation doesn't have to be chaotic or accidental. It can be deliberate, measurable, and scalable with the right systems in place. Course overview. This course begins by exploring why innovation requires both structure and creativity. While creativity generates ideas, structure helps evaluate, refine, and scale them. You'll learn what defines a structured innovation management system and how it differs from unstructured approaches. We'll guide you through each step needed to nurture and execute innovation, from idea capture to implementation. Along the way, we'll introduce tools and metrics that enable organizations to measure and manage innovation efforts effectively. You'll also see leadership strategies that empower teams to innovate consistently, along with real-world examples from companies that successfully embed innovation into their operations. Ultimately, the course will emphasize a key insight. Innovation thrives when creativity is channeled through clear frameworks and repeatable processes. Whether you're launching a new idea or improving an existing system, understanding how structure supports innovation will help you make a greater impact in your organization. The innovation myth. A common misconception is that structure kills creativity, but the truth is more nuanced. When there's too much structure, innovation can be stifled by red tape, slow decision-making, and rigid hierarchies. In such environments, creative thinkers feel constrained, and promising ideas often die in bureaucracy. On the flip side, too little structure leads to a flood of ideas that never materialize. Without systems to evaluate, prioritize, and execute, even the best concepts struggle to scale or align with business goals. True innovation flourishes in a balanced environment, one where experimentation is encouraged, but within clear parameters. Strategic alignment ensures that creative initiatives contribute to overarching goals, while structured execution increases the odds of success. A well-designed system doesn't suppress innovation, it enables it. It provides the scaffolding needed to turn great ideas into tangible results, making innovation not just possible, but repeatable and impactful. Structure and creativity, not opposites. Innovation exists on a spectrum between chaos and discipline. On one extreme, unbounded freedom can lead to disorganized, unfocused efforts. On the other, excessive control limits experimentation and originality. The innovation sweet spot lies in the middle, where creative energy is supported by a structured system. This balance allows organizations to set clear goals, allocate resources for experimentation, and continuously improve through feedback loops. Metrics help scale what works, while boundaries guide teams without limiting their imagination. A structured system doesn't mean micromanagement. Instead, it empowers teams to take risks, iterate quickly, and learn from outcomes. Finding this sweet spot means avoiding the extremes of rigid process and unstructured ideation. For scientists and engineers especially, systems that blend analytical rigor with creative flexibility provide the ideal environment for sustainable innovation. With the right structure, teams can generate breakthrough solutions and execute them efficiently. What is a structured innovation management system? A structured innovation management system is a repeatable set of processes and practices that turn ideas into real impact. It captures input from across the organization, evaluates ideas based on objective criteria, develops them efficiently, and scales the most promising solutions sustainably. Rather than relying on sporadic bursts of creativity, it builds a reliable pipeline of innovation. Such systems ensure that innovations are aligned with strategic business goals, not just side projects disconnected from core operations. They also provide frameworks for cross-functional collaboration, allowing departments to share insights and resources. The goal is to transform innovation from a random, unpredictable activity into a disciplined, manageable process. As the quote says, "It's not about having the most ideas, but having the best system to turn ideas into impact." That's what separates high-performing organizations from the rest: structure that amplifies creativity and drives execution. Key components of innovation systems. An effective innovation management system operates as an integrated ecosystem, each part reinforcing the others. First, strategic alignment mechanisms help focus innovation on high-priority challenges or themes that matter to the business. These might include company-wide goals like sustainability, digital transformation, or customer experience. Next, standardized intake and evaluation frameworks allow organizations to consistently assess new ideas using objective criteria. Cross-department collaboration platforms break down silos and encourage joint problem-solving. Agile project management processes ensure that ideas move quickly from concept to pilot with built-in adaptability. Metrics and incentives help track progress and motivate participation. Importantly, none of these components should operate in isolation. Instead, they must work together cohesively, ensuring that ideas are captured, evaluated, and developed in a way that supports long-term innovation. When all these parts are aligned, innovation becomes not just an event, but an ongoing, sustainable capability. Creating the conditions for innovation. Before systems can succeed, the organizational culture must be ready for innovation. Culture sets the tone for whether people feel safe to share new ideas, challenge assumptions, and experiment. Building an innovation-ready culture means fostering psychological safety, promoting cross-functional collaboration, and encouraging learning from failure. It also involves allocating time and space for exploration and providing leadership support that values experimentation over perfection. Too often, systems are introduced into environments that resist change or punish risk-taking, which undermines their effectiveness. For innovation to thrive, people need to believe their ideas will be heard and valued. The environment must allow for reflection, iteration, and open dialogue. As engineers and scientists, you may appreciate how critical initial conditions are to any system's behavior. The same applies here. The right cultural conditions are the foundation upon which structured innovation can take root and grow. Fostering psychological safety. Psychological safety is essential for innovation. When team members feel safe to share bold ideas, challenge assumptions, and admit mistakes, creativity flourishes. Managers play a critical role in fostering this environment. One key tactic is asking open-ended questions, like, "What's another way we could solve this?" which invites diverse thinking and signals that alternative perspectives are welcome. Celebrating smart failures and well-intentioned experiments is also vital. When leaders recognize the learning gained from setbacks, they normalize the innovation process, which often includes missteps. It's equally important to destigmatize mistakes. Instead of punishment, teams should be encouraged to reflect, learn, and improve. For example, a team that fails with a prototype but extracts lessons for future iterations is on the path to success. Innovation is a process of learning. Psychological safety ensures that learning continues, even when the outcome isn't perfect the first time. Allocating time and space to innovate. Innovation doesn't happen automatically in busy, task-focused environments. It requires dedicated time and space to think beyond daily operations. Organizations like Google have pioneered approaches like the 20% time rule, where employees are encouraged to spend a portion of their work week exploring new ideas. Innovation sprints or hack weeks are another effective tool, where teams focus intensely on solving specific problems over a short period. Encouraging quarterly process improvement pitches invites all departments to contribute and reinforces a culture of continuous improvement. Physical spaces also matter. Dedicated innovation labs or collaborative rooms signal that creativity is valued and provide teams with the tools and freedom to experiment. Without built-in slack time, operational pressures will always win. By protecting time and space for innovation, companies give their teams permission to think differently and drive real progress on long-term challenges. Structured idea management, process flow. Managing ideas with structure doesn't slow innovation, it actually accelerates it. A structured process moves from idea capture to evaluation, pilot, and iteration in a systematic way. First, ideas are captured through dedicated channels, whether digital forms, suggestion programs, or innovation portals. These ideas are then evaluated using criteria such as strategic fit, feasibility, and value potential. Next, selected ideas move into a pilot phase, where they are tested in a small, low-risk environment. Insights gathered from pilot testing inform the iteration stage, where ideas are refined and improved. This process isn't rigid or one-way, it's iterative. Teams loop back to earlier stages as needed, applying lessons learned to improve outcomes. Structure adds speed by eliminating confusion and reducing risk. Instead of chasing scattered ideas, teams follow a clear path that leads from concept to real-world implementation, with learning built into every step. Effective idea. Evaluation. Evaluating ideas effectively requires clear, objective criteria and a collaborative process. The first major criterion is strategic fit. Does the idea align with the organization's goals and priorities? Next is potential value, which considers the return on investment, revenue potential, and overall impact. Feasibility is also critical. Does the organization have the resources, capabilities, and time needed to bring the idea to life? Finally, assessing risk level and identifying mitigation strategies helps avoid surprises during implementation. A cross-functional innovation committee plays a key role in this process. By including diverse voices, the team avoids groupthink and gains a broader perspective. Clear scoring rubrics support objective comparisons. A multi-stage filtering approach, moving from initial screening to detailed review and final selection, ensures only the most promising ideas are developed. Transparency matters too. Documenting and sharing decision outcomes builds trust and helps everyone understand how and why decisions are made. Piloting and prototyping innovations. Piloting and prototyping are vital steps in the innovation process. They allow teams to test ideas quickly, gather feedback, and refine concepts before full-scale deployment. Using agile and lean startup methods helps minimize waste and maximize learning. One common approach is to build a minimum viable product, or MVP. This is a basic version of a product or solution designed to validate key assumptions. Prototypes don't have to be perfect. They just need to test the core concept. Testing should involve real users in controlled environments, so feedback is realistic and actionable. Teams gather data, analyze outcomes, and adjust based on insights. The goal is rapid iteration, not perfection. Structure plays a supportive role here, helping teams move fast, stay focused, and learn systematically. Bureaucracy slows things down, but well-designed systems actually make agile prototyping more effective. The result? Better ideas, tested faster, with lower risk. Governance and portfolio management. Governance and portfolio management ensure that innovation efforts are balanced, strategic, and measurable. First, tracking key performance indicators is essential. Metrics like time to prototype, the percentage of ideas reaching market, and net present value of innovation projects provide valuable insights into effectiveness. The innovation portfolio should be managed across 3 categories: core innovations, making up 70%, focus on improving existing offerings. Adjacent innovations, around 20%, extend capabilities into new areas. Transformational innovations, roughly 10%, target disruptive or game-changing breakthroughs. Balancing these categories helps manage risk while pursuing both short-term results and long-term growth. Best practices include categorizing projects, aligning them with business strategy, and using visual tools to provide transparency. When governance is done well, leadership can make informed decisions, allocate resources efficiently, and ensure innovation efforts deliver tangible business value. Portfolio thinking turns isolated projects into a coherent, forward-looking innovation strategy. Metrics that matter. To manage innovation effectively, you must measure what matters. Input metrics track how much innovation activity is happening. These include the number of ideas submitted, participation rates across departments, and the percentage of budget or time invested in innovation. Output metrics focus on results, such as the number of pilots launched, new revenue generated, time to market, and measurable improvements in efficiency or customer satisfaction. Together, these metrics provide a full picture of innovation performance. But there's a critical warning. Avoid vanity metrics. These are numbers that look impressive, but don't drive decision-making or outcomes. Real metrics should help you learn, improve, and scale what works. They should show whether your innovation system is actually delivering impact. Velocity of learning, how quickly teams gain insights and adapt, is especially important. In structured innovation, data guides action. Measure thoughtfully, and innovation becomes a strategic, repeatable capability. Leadership's role in innovation. Leadership sets the tone for innovation. When leaders treat innovation as a core discipline, not a side project, it becomes part of the organization's identity. Leaders must start by setting clear innovation priorities. For example, declaring a strategic goal like achieving sustainable packaging by 2026 provides direction and purpose. Leaders must also sponsor high-risk, high-reward initiatives and protect them from short-term pressures. This encourages bold thinking and gives teams the space to explore. Modeling curiosity and experimentation is equally important. When leaders themselves embrace learning and iteration, it creates a culture of openness. Finally, embedding innovation into performance reviews and team goals ensures accountability and recognition. People prioritize what gets measured and rewarded. Strong leadership creates the conditions for innovation to thrive, linking strategy, culture, and execution. For technical professionals, seeing leadership support experimentation gives permission to innovate with confidence and clarity. Technology and collaboration tools. Innovation accelerates when supported by the right digital tools. Brainstorming and whiteboarding platforms like Miro and Mural help capture early-stage ideas visually and collaboratively. These tools are especially useful for remote and hybrid teams. Knowledge management systems, such as Notion and Confluence, ensure that ideas, experiments, and lessons are documented and accessible across the organization. Agile project tracking tools, including Asana, Jira, and Trello, help teams manage tasks, timelines, and progress as ideas move from concept to execution. For cross-functional visibility, platforms like AHA, Airtable, and Monday enable departments to stay aligned on priorities and workflows. AI tools also play a growing role, offering ideation assistance, rapid data analysis, and even generating design variations. Together, these technologies foster seamless collaboration, boost transparency, and remove barriers to execution. For technical professionals, mastering these tools not only increases innovation speed, but also bridges communication across disciplines and functions. Continuous improvement and scaling. Sustaining innovation means continuously improving your innovation process. After each innovation cycle, teams should conduct postmortems, structured reviews of what worked, what didn't, and why. Gathering employee feedback is another essential step. Surveys and informal input help identify blockers and highlight successful practices. Based on these insights, refine evaluation frameworks and funding models to better support future ideas. Documentation also plays a key role. Creating toolkits and playbooks helps replicate successful innovations across teams. Training others ensures that proven innovations don't remain isolated but spread through the organization. This approach turns innovation from a one-time effort into a repeatable, scalable system. Just as products evolve through iteration, innovation systems must evolve too. Applying continuous improvement to the innovation process itself ensures your organization remains adaptive, resilient, and forward-thinking. For science and engineering grads, this mindset aligns closely with experimental rigor and systemic optimization. Case study: structured innovation in action. Let's look at how structured innovation created real business value. The challenge was to reduce onboarding time by 50%. Employees submitted ideas through a digital form, enabling wide participation. A cross-functional committee evaluated the submissions, prioritizing those with strong strategic fit and impact. One standout idea, an AI-powered onboarding chatbot, was selected for prototyping. In the pilot phase, the HR team tested it with 100 new hires over 2 months. Data showed onboarding time dropped by 62%, surpassing the original goal. The chatbot was then scaled across the company, with IT and HR working together for a smooth rollout. Contributors were recognized, and results were shared widely. This case shows how structured systems turn vague goals into measurable results. From idea intake to evaluation, piloting, analysis, scaling, and recognition, each step was intentional. The process created alignment, accelerated execution, and delivered a clear return on innovation investment. Conclusion: systems make innovation sustainable. Innovation isn't a random flash of brilliance. It's a process that can be structured, managed, and scaled. Sustainable innovation happens not in spite of systems, but because of them. By embracing systems that support speed and creativity, organizations turn ideas into results more reliably. Aligning innovation with business strategy ensures efforts stay focused and impactful. Treating innovation as a disciplined process, not just an occasional side project, builds lasting capability. Measuring what matters, refining frameworks, and recognizing contributors all strengthen the cycle. The organizations that will lead the future are those that can think creatively while executing systematically. For new science and engineering grads, this is empowering. You already understand the power of systems, iteration, and analysis. Now you can apply those strengths to innovation, making you not just a problem solver, but a catalyst for meaningful, scalable change.